hear me now?
I think you can hear me now.
Hopefully you can hear me.
Cool. Well, good evening. And thank you for joining me. It's a very hot Monday afternoon here in the UK. What we wanted to do with this week is, following all the announcements about a number of other industries going back to work, reopening their doors, we wanted to follow up on a toolkit that we made available a couple of weeks ago. Hi there, Kamal. Hi, Andrew. A couple of weeks ago, we made this available out via the Chamber of Commerce, and I wanted to share a little bit about that toolkit. We have kept it free, so people are able to get that information in these times of need. And what we didn't want to do is we didn't want to be seen as taking advantage of anyone, but certainly what we want to try and do is do our bit for businesses out there who need support, who are probably a little bit confused, who don't know where to go. So what I want to do is for the next 3 days, I'm going to take you through a few slides and a few concepts that we have, and hopefully give you some value of that. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so we call this the Re3 Business Toolkit, and it's based on 3 principles, which I'll explain in a second. But the reality is that what COVID-19 has done to a number of businesses is that they probably knew already some of their gaps or some of the things they needed to fix. And what COVID-19 has done is it's focused their minds really on what really needs to be done now. Because the problem we've got is a lot of businesses are struggling at the moment. They don't know where to go. They're not sure what's important in the relaunch. And what we want to do with this toolkit is use a lot of the tools and techniques that we already use with some of our clients and help them to get some focus around what they need to do in this time and how they can really get ready to relaunch their business. And that's really what we're focusing on. We're focusing on relaunching their business because we all know that digitization is important. We know that being online, we know that the business models that a lot of us have aren't necessarily business models which work in the future. And what this has allowed us to do is really have the time to sit back and think that the things we've probably thought about already, that we see our competitors doing, it's now time that we are doing this. And smart leaders amongst us, they are really having to focus how they can best protect their people, serve their customers better, and secure the long-term future of their business. And as I say, it's not just about finding efficiencies or going digital. It's about having that mindset to change your current business model, the current way in which you do business, into something else. And what we did is we pulled together the methodologies that we use, and that would normally be in this situation. We'd start by reviewing your current business model. So there'd be a review phase. We'd then do a reinvention phase, think about the things that really need to be changed. And then we'd go on to a relaunch phase. And, you know, you've got to think of that relaunch really as a relaunch of your business and, you know, take advantage of the fact that people are out there with money. People are looking for things. So what can we do to relaunch our business and get the attention of existing customers and new customers? So what I'm going to do over the next 3 days is I'm going to take you through the 3 phases. And today I'm going to talk to you very much about the review phase. And in terms of the review phase, we're talking about having a review of your current business model. And what does that mean? That means we're talking about having to think about the way you're doing business today in order that we can make a detailed assessment of what's working well and what's not working well. Now, this might sound really obvious, but it is so interesting to see how many people have a business and they can't show me on a one piece of paper or in a document somewhere the business process flow that they go through. So let me tell you what that looks like. So can you show me something like this, which tells me the end-to-end business process that you go through? And if you can't, then how do you expect to be able to work with your team, work with someone else to understand where the gaps are? And I guess this is the starting point for any kind of project you do. You review your current situation, or as we call it, you review your as-is situation before thinking about what the to-be is going to be. Now, if I just move this on a phase, I'm talking about asking 3 specific questions, because what I want you to review is that based on your current business process, what did you do, or what can you do if your customers can't reach you? And that's really evident for a lot of businesses. When the doors were closed, a lot of businesses had to stop trading because there's no other way for people to do business with them. The second question to ask is, what to do if your supply chain fails? And in that, I mean, you can't get raw materials to yourself, or you can't get your products and services out to your customers. So that's that end-to-end supply chain of your raw materials or components coming into you doing your process, your manufacturing, your assembly process, and then you supplying that out to your customers. And the third thing you've really got to review is the manual versus the automation steps. You know, what are you doing manually at the moment, which means that when people stop working, what can you do to continue business? And let me talk on this a little bit more. So, you know, we've talked, the COVID situation is going to be with us for a while. Yes, businesses will reopen, but it could be easily 12 months before we start seeing things return back to normal. And as different industry sectors recover and react, it's a really good time to think about your business model and think about where you should be going in the future and what it should look like. So, for instance, you know, a lot of people have talked about having an online presence, having an online ordering system. You know, those things don't exist today, but lots of companies have been talking about it for ages. And what are they going to do about it? Are they going to put those together now? Are you going to have a level of cleanliness that you never had before in store? Are you going to have helpers out there, sanitizers, who are helping keep your store clean, your customers feeling safe? Because right now, when people are going to come back to your business, they are going to look for responsible businesses who are not only trying to take their money, but are also concerned about keeping you safe. And these things have to happen with a hospitality mindset in mind more than ever. And what do I mean by that? I mean that customer experience. At the moment, it's very easy that people are queuing up outside Co-op and Tesco's for their groceries. But that isn't going to last for very much longer, because people will soon start getting fed up of that, and they will be looking to businesses to find a different way of dealing with them. So queuing up now might be fine, but queuing up in the future, it's got to be something that you as a business has got to be thinking about. Do you need people to queue up? Is there another way they can do business with you? Are there products and services that can be delivered to your customer in a different way? All of these things you've got to be thinking about. And importantly, you've got to review and really think about the fact that what is it that makes you special as a business? We talk about this a lot, but going forward, it's really important to be clear. What is it that makes your business really special today? And what is it going to be in the future? And you'll hear the term pivot a lot. So we'll talk about pivoting all the time. And pivot doesn't mean that you completely change your business model, but you certainly have to look at your business model, understand what things can you do differently. And a classic example of this is where we've seen so many restaurants who previously would not offer a delivery service are now offering a delivery service. We see so many businesses who previously didn't have an online service, a virtual service, a Zoom service maybe if you're a professional services business. So many of these businesses didn't have that before, but now they're offering it. So the 3 things that you have to do in the review stage of our 3-step process is review your business model. And that is review the way you do business today. Review your cost structures. So many people are working from home, and yet a lot of businesses continue to work. So people are soon questioning that, do we need to have so many desks in our office? Do we need to have such an expensive infrastructure? How can we save costs that we can help contribute to increased profits? And the third thing you've got to review is that customer experience. How am I now going to wow my customers? And particularly, we think about the retail and the hospitality sector. From the retail point of view, we've talked about click and collect. We talked about home delivery. These are obvious. But to make that experience better, you've got to think about, what about return services? How can people now order things off me, return them easily and efficiently? Because the danger here is that we're very flexible with our customers. Our customers order lots of products. They're now sitting on the floor in their bedroom or in their cupboard when they've got no intention of buying them at all, and they're going to return them to you in the future. And that's no good for you as a business. It might be great for your customers, but how can we make that slick online and in-person business come together so much better? And from a hospitality business, things like having a bar area, which is probably a very profitable area for a hotel or a restaurant, or having a restaurant area within your hotel. All of these things are going to have to change. And it isn't just a case of offering a delivery service. It's going to have to need some important thinking, and you to review that what you do today, is that a business model still liable? Is it still workable? Does it still guarantee you success in the future? So these are the kind of things that you have to go through in your review phase. And tomorrow I'll talk a little bit about the reinvent and the relaunch phase on Thursday as well. But let me give you a little bit of help in how to get ahead in this game now. So just open my screen over here. So what we're offering at the moment is a business recovery after COVID-19 disruption, and that's taking you through the full review, reinvent, and relaunch process. And what we're saying with this situation is that we'll take you through that process, and I'll also make it available for free for you if you do the work, of course. And what we've got with this is that we've taken our big business model and we've simplified it into a five-step process. And what we're doing is we're going to make that available to you in a 5-day course. I'll also throw in a one-to-one with myself at the end, and a signed copy of one of my books. You can pick one of those. And the question I'm going to ask you is that if you're interested in getting hold of this, then hop over to the link that I'm going to share with you at the bottom of this post. Register yourself for it. And what we'll do is we will send you access to the course. And once you've got the course, you'll be able to follow this through yourself at home. And where you need help with it, then yes, we will be there to help you for sure. But what will allow you to do is work through some of these challenges in your own time and for your own business. And again, as I say, we'll make this available for you for free. And just to give you an idea of what that looks like, so we've put together a whole series of videos for you. There's 5 steps of the course. You do it in your own time. And in each one, I've given you a set of videos and tasks to help you work through this. So we'll make this available for you for free. What I'll do is I'll post some links in the bottom of this video for you to look at that and register for it. So today I've talked to you a little bit about the first stage of that process. The videos and the course go through it in a lot more detail. And it goes through in detail how to review your current business model, your process mapping, and to look at your points of failure as well. And tomorrow, I'll talk a little bit about your reinvention process, and the day after, we'll talk about the relaunch. But what I'm saying to you today is, if this is something that's important to you, then head over to our registration page, whereby you can register for this course for free and you can crack on with this course. As I say, we will be there ourselves to help you through this. So you'll get the benefit of a consultation for free from me as well in this. Now, I would normally say at this point in time if there's any questions, but I've seen a few questions pop up. So let me try and take those on. And one of the questions we're talking about here is, so let me show that question over there. Coming up. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see that, but the question is, if your business requires footfall, you have to pivot and put social distancing in place. How can you put together a new business model? So yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing we're talking about in this course that you can get access to, because social distancing is only one issue that you've got to look at. So social distancing is one of the issues you've got to look at. How can you be a really responsible brand at this time and not only open your doors, let the floodgates open and let people rush in to see you, you've also got to make sure that what you can do is look after your customers' well-being and make sure that they can come and buy from you safely. And also, obviously, you've got to look after your staff's well-being as well. A question here which lots of companies don't document processes, which makes changing stuff really difficult and almost impossible. Yeah, so I agree with you on that point completely. And that's one of the challenges that we have in this process, that if you genuinely want to change what you've got today, you've got to be able to draw out on a piece of paper what you have today. And that's where this course starts. It starts with mapping out your current business model. I'll show you how to do that in this course so that you can start off on the right foot. If you're in the hospitality, see this way, if you're in the hospitality industry, everything is about reduced throughput to allow table spacing. Yeah, this is going to be a big challenge, because one of the problems we have as any business, not just the hospitality business, but in any business, we've got a challenge whereby if today you've got a business model that works on maybe having 100 customers buying off you a day, and if going forward social distancing, reduced capacity means that you can only put through 50 customers a day, then that's impacting your ability to cover your fixed costs. And that's where the budgeting and the costing comes in place. And that's where we've really got to understand the impact on your costs. So a few good questions and points there. Thank you for sharing that, guys. What I'm going to do tomorrow is, about the same time, we'll do another live, and I'll talk you through a bit of the overview about what we do in the review phase and in the reinvent phase. So look out for that. But for now, if you want to take advantage of this opportunity, then head over to this site and you can register for access to this free course. Thanks for now, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow.